By the way, what I didn't want to forget to mention is that a few months or years ago, when I was using the DuckDuckGo.com search engine and entered my name, I entered Lukas Girtanner in the search engine to inquire about the pages that were visible there, listed as search results, and yes, and most importantly, to see if there is anything automatically added in the auto fill-in function. So when you enter Lukas Girtanner, then you make a space and hit the space key, and then you see if there are other Ergänzungen, additions or suggestions, search term suggestions. Yeah, I look Ergänzung. Ergänzung. Oh, it takes a long time. I should be able to dictate it. Ergänzung. Supplement, addition, complement. Yeah, it's addition. So if there are any additions to my name, and then what happened? What did I see? I was really astonished. I saw Lukas Girtanner's Rinse. I mean, Rinse in German means Spülung. So obviously, somebody, or even the people at DuckDuckGo, but this I don't believe, but some people who really personally know me and managed to, I don't know how to say, manipulate or configure or, the search results or the auto fill-in suggestions, additions in the search results. That when you enter my name, you saw Lukas Girtanner's Rinse. I mean, and why? There is a reason. I know it's obvious, because in the years around 2000 and it was in 2009 when I also met O. O knew about, O saw me doing it. I usually, and it was, I know, it was in 2009, maybe also before, and until around the 23rd of June 2010. Why do I know it so precisely? Because around this day, I don't remember the exact day anymore, but around this day, I was so afraid of the people sitting on the other side of my internet connection that my old life ended. So this was the date. This, I don't know when it was, exactly, it was, I think it was the 23rd or 24th of June 2010, then my old life ended for the first time, then I will do another video about it, this is not something, this is a different story, because it has I have to explain so many things. It was just this date. It was just in the middle of everything. It was after I had met or encountered O, and before I went into the psychotic time period. And this was a really it was a lucky day. I will explain later why. It was I had real luck on that day, because it could have gone very badly on that day. Yeah. If I would be more I will immediately make another video after this one. Yeah, I have to do it because now you are probably curious, those of you who don't know it yet. If I would believe more in a more superstitious way in God, I would say God protected me on this day. Yeah, I will explain to you. It's now maybe I cannot because it's really yeah, it's not I realize now what everything I would have to explain. And I think I've never told anyone about this. Yeah, the video then should really be age restricted for that people under 18 don't see it because it was a really stressful moment. Let's say it like that. It was unless I don't know how to restrict the video for people under 18, I will not do it here. Maybe I will upload it somewhere else with age restriction. Yeah, it's not about sex or something like that, or it's about other something else. But it's also it's not good if a child hears it here. You should be an adult person. Yeah, I was okay, but now I return to what I initially wanted to say. Until this end of day, towards the end of June 2010, I always spit out my saliva into handkerchiefs and sometimes also on the floor. And I also did this in public when I was walking to and from the university, and even in the university, I spit in a bag, because I was so afraid of swallowing the pollution that came out of my lungs, the pollution that I inhaled and then was gradually moved out of my lungs by the hairs in the lungs, and I was so afraid to swallow the residuals of this pollution that I spit out. I didn't swallow my saliva anymore, which was also very unhealthy, and this was also during the time that I met so all knew about it, and all people who met me, who encountered me at the university also knew it. So probably so like that. Sorry for my body language. I made like that. Yeah, I have to hold the mobile phone like that so that you see my body language. So like that, the information that I spit out, my saliva might have found its way into DuckDuckGo. And why rinse? Because the rinse, I needed, I went to the toilet often and did these rinses. I flushed my mouth with water from the tap water in the toilet, from the, this where you open the lavabo. I look it up. Now I can look it up. I will look if I can enter it, so I don't have to dictate it. Sorry, I have to configure it. It's the first time I'm using it. So now I'm at lavabo. Yeah, it worked. This is artificial intelligence at work. This is very good. Lavabo. So I can look. It's wash basin or lavabo in English. Okay. I did these rinses of my mouth and also spit out the saliva into the lavabo and took the fresh tap water in, the cold tap water in. So I don't even remember how I exactly did it, but it's something like that. And obviously people realized that, and they entered it they managed to configure websites or information in the internet or the DuckDuckGo search engine itself, so that Lukas Girtanner's rings was visible when you entered Lukas Girtanner. I just wanted to say that I realized that I saw it. I never talked about it on my website because I always forgot it to mention it and didn't have the time, but now I finally want to say it. And this very strange and for me also unhealthy behavior, because of course saliva is necessary for the body because it contains a lot of probably, I don't know, proteins, enzymes, minerals. It's necessary. Your body lacks something if you don't swallow the saliva at all anymore, and I did that. So it ended on around 23rd or 24th of June 2010, when this very stressful things happened in my life, which I will describe in the next video. No, I cannot describe because, it has to be age restricted. So I will maybe describe it now, but not tell everything. Yeah, from May, I think it was 13th of May. On 13th of May 2010, I realized that my internet connection was monitored. It was in a very special way that I realized it. It was when I was looking for a female bodybuilder on the internet. I don't remember her name. It was an Italian female bodybuilder. I looked for pictures of her. And then suddenly my internet connection was altered or manipulated in a way that I immediately realized that I was monitored. It was clear. There was no other interpretation possible. I was monitored and my internet connection tampered with, and so I got nervous, and then I had the feeling, so now I have to write everything. The upgrade, the update on my ideology, because I had already written my old philosophic.org website in 2006, so 4 years later and 1 year after I had met O, and he had told me about the importance of mathematics in a very special way, in an eindringliche way. Eindringlich, now I can dictate it, hopefully. Eindringlich. No, it didn't. Eindringlich. Eindringlich. I'm English. Probably it's the wrong. No, it's German. It's selected. So yeah, it was eindringlich. Yeah, had told me in a very energetic, let's say like that, energetic way that mathematics is important, by telling me essentially that I'm a stupid guy who has no mathematical knowledge, although it would be decisive. Yeah, like that, he told me. And so I did the new website on after I realized that my internet connection was monitored and even manipulated very closely. Monitored very closely and even manipulated. Then I began to write things on the internet, and then towards the mid of June, I got so much. I wrote and wrote and wrote. It's still on the internet. The blog is not yet on the internet of these months, May and June, but other sorts, the normal webs, the regular pages on my website that I created are still there, and you can go in the history back and look at them, what I wrote them. And I will, of course, now I am transparent anyway, I will also release the blog pages of them into the public as soon as I have time. So, and then towards the end of June, I was so much afraid that I finally ended up in psychiatry, yes. And on the day before I ended in psychiatry, I will probably tell more about it, but not everything. It was it was a situation that could have turned out bad, but I was lucky. Yeah. So now it's 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. in the early morning, and 55 minutes, plus minus 5 minutes, Tuesday, 13th of November 2018. Bye.